It is your girl, Black Glitter Glory, and this is another amazing episode of From Princess to Queens. And as I say all the time, I'm ecstatic about the lineup that we have today, the topics, the guests. We're gonna have a good talk today. We're gonna chop it up real big. I got myself and a very powerful sister on here today. We are here as we normally are, unifying and empowering women and young ladies, and we are setting examples and breaking barriers and trying to break strongholds and all of those, wonderful things. Now, when I say that, that means we're learning and growing ourselves each and every day. So, just blessed and happy to be here. And want to give a shout out to, Travis, my normal co-host, Tugboat. He's not feeling well, so I need all of you guys out there on Sador Radio Land and on Facebook and Instagram to put a big prayer out for him. He's normally here, being my funny part and, adding his special touch and flavor to the show. Unfortunately, he's down, but we got another soldier on the front lines here to, turn up with us. And this is my home girl that I met through organizing. She's revolutionary. She's talented. She got bars. She got brains. She has an awesome personality, and she is definitely about her people, about her family, and all of that. Very knowledgeable sister. This is my girl, Seven Gunahti. What's up, Seven?
What's happening, GLTB? GLTB, I'm so proud to be here with you, uplifting our young girls and our Black women, our strong Black women. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to join you on your platform. I'm definitely praying for Travis, what I'm saying, lifting him up, empowering in peace, to feel better very soon. And because I was looking forward to his funny too.
Right.
Yeah, so thank you so much. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk about the things of the things and the worlds of the worlds.
Hey, but before we get into all of that, politics and all that stuff and everything, I know people out there are curious to know about you and what it is that you do and all about yourself. So I want you to give them, a little bit of background on who my girl Seven Gunahti is and all about your company and your business and what you do. And that's Get Out of the Box. It's amazing. Just the phrase and what it stands for is amazing, because sometimes we be in that box and we got to get out of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
we got to
right.
get out of everyday thinking.
That's right.
We got to get out these
That's
everyday
right.
systems and everything that programs us to be mundane and keep us, and mediocrity and keep us doing the same thing every single day. And everything starts in your mind. Your mind is where all the power is. So I want you to tell us about the GOTB, sis. Let them know.
I appreciate you. GLTB. So GLTB stands for Get Out the Box. We started off as a music company, and now we have integrated and grow into film. So I am a filmmaker, originally from Mobile, Alabama, Mob Town, baby, down deep off in the South. And everybody know me by Seven. Now Seven Gunahti. Gunahti, I on the streets. I ain't come out here to help the people, uplift the people, feed, train, clothe, shelter, and defend the people. And in any way possible, and by all necessary means. We just uplifting the nation, the Black nation in particular. It's also an organization of unified Black minds coming together to, build not only our minds, but our spirits. So we have studies, we have classes. Right now, I'm actually focused a lot on film. I usually am very focused on music, but music will be a part of the film. You always gotta have some music in the film. So I'm working diligently to get our film side of the company together, because see, it's one thing you have auditory learning, where you learn best by hearing. That's your music. And then now we're gonna work on the visual learning. So we're gonna put some real powerful messages inside of these films. and put them out there for the people so that we can continue to uplift and inspire one another. Then we have GOTB Nation, which is a brotherhood and sisterhood where we come together to uplift each other spiritually and with boots on the ground, training and defending the people, like teaching.
Right.
So it's just a beautiful thing to be alive. There's so much going on in the world right now. We have lost so many people due to the pandemic and just due to regular life too now. So absolutely. I'm just happy to be on this side in the land of the living, as my mama would say. I'm happy to be in the land of the living because each day they give you an opportunity to do something, once again, something greater. So the goal is to do better today than we did yesterday, right? And now yesterday's could be on the backs of the ancestors. The ancestors have done so many things for us and opened up, so many opportunities for us. And I believe a lot of times we be sleeping on ourselves. So the goal of GLTB is to wake up. Gotta wake up, unify, so that we can, unify so that we can actually get something done. There's a lot of talking out there, but now it's time to get something done. We've talked about everything a lot. Now it's time to make some moves on what we've talked about. So that's what I do. Breaking mental barriers, physical barriers, and spiritual barriers together. Thank you so much.
I love it. That's powerful. You said a mouthful. We are so programmed, you know what I'm saying? And this is why, and you're a wonderful artist. I had the opportunity when we were in North Carolina to just chop it up with this lady and just, be blessed with her presence. And as soon as we went on the facility, we go into what was that, like the chapel or something, Seven, and they had a piano there. This lady proceeds to get on that piano and bust that piano down and then go into this whole it's like she was in a trance. It's just so her element. It was just so, and I'm an artist too, so you got to respect the talent, you know what I'm saying, to get on that piano and play as brilliantly as you did, and then the singing and the harmonizing. I mean, it just captured my soul. It was so
we got to do some music
and so we do. We gonna get there. We getting there. We want to say, listen, that's why I stay in touch. I know, when you on a certain frequency, we just connect. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that's so amazing. When you on a certain frequency, you just connect. And I know, I've had plenty of people just like yourself that we meet, we connect, and we, you know what I'm saying, we embrace each other. We get to enjoy the energy and the personality, and then we connect on that level, that frequency of making that music and making that song. So I know it's coming. I know it's coming, but I know you much more deeper and more complex than that, than just getting in the studio. And that's the part I wanted to dig into. And so that's why I got you on here, because people need to hear the stuff that you're doing and the way that you think and, everything that you embody. The music is just a small bit of who you are and what, you bring to the table, and how you're working on the front lines to really, uplift Black people and encourage and, educate, Black women and everything. So I think that's very, very important.
Thank you.
And everything. So how long did you have the business, sis? How long did you have that?
So GLTB has been around since 2005, 2006. That was the birthing of GLTB. As far as it being a legitimate company, like paperwork, like, go down there, talk to the people. It's been 2 years. Yeah, but I've been learning a lot along the way, but this has been a long time thing. I'm getting on up there. Been doing this thing for a while. Yeah. Like I said, GLTB started as when I was young. I was in my early 20s. It was a record label idea. The idea was to start a record label. Yeah. So I came in off of doing gospel hip hop. I started off as a gospel artist, and then I felt like my message wasn't just for the church, So I told him, I said, I think I gave up the pulpit for the stage. Yeah. But I was inspired by artists like Lauryn Hill and Erykah Badu that let me know that, you know, I could still have the pulpit out here in the streets. Hence I am the streets angel. Yeah.
Wow, it's so amazing that you said that, because when you were, you know, in your zone, on that piano, and you were singing and rapping, those were the main two artists that you reminded me of. You had that mixture. You had that Erykah Badu, you know what I'm saying, flow, and you had the Lauryn Hill soul. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so that was amazing.
That's humbling.
I could
Somebody go tell them what she said. Tell them to call me. Tell them to call me. I would love to work with them. Yeah, but I really seen the benefits of gospel music at that time. You know, coming from like a young blood, you know, like hungry and thirsty, like for people to like elevate themselves or get saved, you know, in that part of time of my life. But then I also seen a need for the streets to have the same type of music. Because I mean, ain't that where Jesus was? He was out there in the streets. That's how the story is told, you know. So I felt like it was time to take that box off me. Like I had to get out of that religious box, you know what I'm saying, and really do things how I wanted to do them, not how I was being told that I had to do it. So
that's very good that you said that, because I think a lot of us, because that's how I started too. I started, you know, I learned music from church, you know, singing on the choir. Had a bomb choir director who always, she encouraged me, lead the song, do this and do that, showing me how she wrote music and everything like that. But church, you know how that is, you know what I'm saying? That's another type of system within itself, or whatever. And you know, I think, you know, God grasps us to get in there and get our training, and then you gotta head out into the world in order to win over and, you know, to reach more people. So that's amazing that you said that. Same thing here. I truly believe that. So I think you muted.
No, I'm good. I'm trying to I was talking to somebody in the background.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. We're mothers at the same time, correct? Right. Yeah. So
cause see, the thing is, like I sung in the choir too. Like I've been leading songs and doing, you know, spirituals and stuff like that ever since I was like 5 years old. So the music was always gonna be there. Like the music, and everything I do, the music is always the soul of it, because even the music tells a story too, and you just paint the picture in your mind, you know, in your mind's eye. So I think the most beautiful thing that I did get from doing gospel music is just the love for the creator, and putting that same love in all the things that I'm doing, like with my career, with my family, with my relationships, you know what I'm saying, making sure that there's you know, purity, power, you know what I'm saying, something higher than what you would normally see or hear, feel. What's in nothing. You can never just you can never say I was doing it for profit or gain, you know, by the way the music was, or the I need to get profit and gain from it, don't I? But I'm just saying, you know, some people they just doing it for the bag.
Right. Anything you do, you know, just for money, it's never probably going to be profitable. You have to love what you do and have a certain, you know, passion for it. And you notice that people who have that God-given talent and all of that, it always brings the revenue. It always brings the money, because they're so in love with it and they're not focused on money. They're doing it from the heart and everything. So it's very important what you said, that you know, you gained you know, wisdom, and you gained the love, and you gained the compassion from church, and church don't give you a dime.
That's right. And it's a beautiful thing though, because the Black experience at church sometimes is the height of experience with people. So, you know, singing in the choir. When I used to go to church, let me tell you what, if I couldn't get there for the people who were singing, I didn't want to go. I need to make sure I can hear that choir. It's something about when they are singing to God, or when you're singing to God or singing on the behalf of God, do something for your spirit and move your soul. But music in general will do that. You got all kinds of music. Music will make you sad. Music will make you feel loved. Music will make you happy. You know, that's the most beautiful thing about music, is how mystical and powerful it is, how it moves you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that's why,
music is amazing, right? Isn't
yeah,
it a
yeah,
wonderful
it's a life
therapy?
changer.
And
Yeah,
yes, it is. It is. It
yeah.
is. I started doing music, because I had a big void in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm, yeah.
And I started writing, writing my feelings and, you
Right.
know,
Did you do
using it
poetry?
as I did. That's how I initially started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before I
Yeah.
even thought of, going in the studio or thinking about a rap, you start off as poetry. And,
That's right.
I was going through a very emotional time of my life with, one of my main, the main person of my life, my mother. And my therapy was writing this poetry and saying it and reciting it and all of that. It embodies so much emotion and it embodies so much love and all of those things. And that's how it transitioned and it elevated. Music is a big therapy for me.
Yeah.
Going to the studio, writing and doing all of those things. That's
Okay,
such a
honey, what you
healing,
doing?
process for me. And I hear a lot of people say that, don't do that. She fine. She fine and everything. But let's talk about a little bit. Let's talk about, let's get to the revolutionary part of my girl.
My bad,
And
y'all.
it's okay. Let's get to the revolutionary part of it. Seven, some of the things that you have, stood for, women's rights, standing up for your Black people, all of those, even what us, how we met in the Raise Up organization and,
Right.
some of that work, some of that outreach stuff and reaching out to the people. Let's talk about, that side of you and how
Well,
how that worked out and what's up with that.
well, what I say is, it's crazy though, because it's always gonna go back to the church when everything for me started off in the church. Because I was like born and raised so deep off in the church. I was at church 4 days a week. Okay. And the missionary work, the revolutionary work, it really started there. The idea that I could help my people, like the idea that I could help people or, save them from their circumstances or their situation, So I learned there to have the passion for the people. When I was little, we were driving, me and my
Uh-huh.
mother and my grandfather, we were driving and we got to a street corner and it started raining and it was cold, it was winter.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at these people standing outside in the cold and in the rain. And I said to myself, why won't these people go home? Why are they standing there in that rain? They're not waiting on a bus. They don't look like they have no place to go. And they don't have an umbrella. And it's cold. And I go to my mother and I ask her, I said, Mama, why they standing around? Why won't they go home? And then she told me that they were homeless. Oh my God.
Mm.
Oh, I was so little. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a memory that just won't ever fade. And I hope never fades away. And it sticks with me now. I'm 37 years old. I hope I don't look it, but I'm 37 years old. I'm knocking at 40's door. And I have this memory of being a little girl and finding out that there were people that didn't have anywhere to go. And it was nothing else that I needed to know. That I knew then that I had to do something. And I'm still trying to figure out what you could do to end something so violent. But as we were driving, I'm seeing houses, abandoned houses. So now this is the next thing that I'm seeing as a little child. I don't have no government system. I don't have no judge chair, no doctor
Right.
degree. I'm just a little child. And I see people with no house. And then I see houses with no people.
With no people. Wow. You better
What
talk.
in the world is going on? And then that right there is what started GLTB. I told myself, I'd do this record label, I'd make this money, and then I'd have all these homeless shelters. Then from the homeless shelter, I would help them buy houses. That's what I told myself. And that's where GLTB all starts. Get out of the box of the mind frame that you have. Like, what the hell, man? Like, what are you thinking?
Right.
It's insanity. They say I'm crazy. I got paperwork, baby. So I'm just a little off. But what is it, me or is it them? You know, because that's
right.
crazy.
You the one that's off? Right.
Yeah,
That's
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's insanity.
You know, so, yeah, that is definitely insanity to watch these people suffer the way that they do and have the means.
Right.
But that's where all my missionary mind frame started. And then I did, how can I say this? So I did what any good Christian, because I was a good Christian then, would do. I paid my tithes. I paid my tithes, but I didn't pay them to a church. I began to take my tithe money and put it into the streets. So what I would do, me and my partner at the time, we would make bags of toiletries, necessities, deodorant, pads, soap, just whatever you think a person would need, wipes, rag, and then, you know, canned goods, different foods, whatever, can opener, because back then they ain't had a pop top.
Right.
And we would, and water, and we would go down and we would search for homeless people.
And you would actually get out there and get out in the field and just hand it to people, huh?
Yeah, and it was scary at first because I didn't want to offend somebody, because I didn't even know like how they would feel if you offered them. Where would their pride be? Do they already have these things? And I'm assuming that they don't. You know, am I being rude? You know, so once I got past that, like not wanting to offend anybody, then yeah, it was an amazing experience to be able to like go out there and like be with the people. And I did this for a long time. And then I became homeless myself.
But you see that? Well, hold on one second. Let me address. We have my niece here, Yasmin. Hey, Yazzie.
Peace and power.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Niecy. Glad to have you. If anybody is just tuning in, this is your girl, Black Glory, and this is From Princess to Queens. This is on Sador Radio. Hi, Sador Radio fam. If you just logging in, you can catch this on Sador Radio app. You download the app, and right now we are with our special guest. This is Seven Gunahti. She is the CEO of GOTB. Get out the box. Get out the box in your head. Get out the box of these systems. Get out the box of your feelings. Get out the box of poverty. Get out the box of racism. Get out the box of oppression. Get out the box of depression that is trying to, you know, defeat us and put on a stronghold right now. We got my beautiful niece, who's a highly educated young lady. She has more degrees than a thermometer and still getting more. And she always, you know, comes on the show and give us an educational standpoint on everything. I'm very proud of her, very glad to have her here. Now, we've been talking Seven and getting into her mind and seeing all about her business, where she coming from. Now we're about to get into the meat of the show, and we want to address, we have been a part of history. Living in these last couple of years, history has been made. We have been bombarded with a pandemic. We had a virus come and just wreak havoc across the earth. I don't know if it's a virus or a plague. We don't even know how. We see so many other ones coming up now. We don't know if it's God or it's the CDC, is man-made or anything. But all I know is that it took a lot of good people down, and it has changed our lives as we know it. Every single day, we are still living amongst the pandemic. It's viruses mutating, it's threats upon our life. We are in an economic distress. We are emotionally, mentally distressed. And then now we have other things. Now we living in another part of history, women's history. Can you believe Roe v. Wade has been in existence since I've been alive? It was started in 1973. I was born in 1974. And we have had so much so many women's rights. But now, as part of history, that has been overturned by the big court. All right. And now we arguing constitutional issues. Now we understanding the Constitution and how states operate. Now we understand how they grade life, what they consider
Right.
life,
That's
what
true.
age is life determined. We never thought about it that deep. I have never thought about it that deep. But shit is deep now, guys. Shit is deep as a woman. Shit is deep as a human. I mean, we living in a deep time. So
That's right.
that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about
I have a lot
Roe
of
v.
a lot of opinions on that
Look,
one.
she ready.
I'm ready.
You ready? All right. So first off, let's get all our individual stands. Well, for those out there listening and watching, I hope y'all are educated on Roe v. Wade and what it really is about. It's basically when the Constitution is basically when the court argued that it was constitutional for women to have their own rights over their bodies, and the courts had to turn overthrew the states and saying that life was, I hope I'm saying it right, that life
Starts at conception.
right, fetal viability and conception are the two key players here. They said that life was when a fetus could survive outside of the womb, and they would determine that to be within 24 to 28 weeks. Some people say life is the minute, is life the minute that you conceive. So, that's what states are overturning now. They're saying that the fetal viability is a lot younger. And so you shouldn't, and it's not constitutional. The Constitution has no right to determine, fetal viability, that the states can determine that fetal viability is a lot younger at conception, at 4 weeks, at 3 weeks, whatever the state want to, determine it as to be, they can determine that. And that's why they're banning abortions. So I want to hear how my girl 7 feels about it. I want to hear how my niece feels about it. And then I'm going to keep it a buck with all of my listeners, because I'm here to be clearly transparent, because I'm here to heal. I'm growing. I'm learning. And I'm going to put all my shit on the table so y'all can know why I think the way I think about everything. So you will know from a spiritual standpoint and from me living real motherfucking life and what I experienced in my lifetime. That's why we're going to go. Let's go. Who's setting it off first? How y'all
feeling? Yasmin, I already been talking to the people. I want to hear what you got to say. Let me let you talk.
Well, first off, hey guys, I just want to say that I think number one, is unconstitutional for a white man to tell me what to do with my body. That's number one. Number two, if you're going to have stipulations on women's reproductive systems and health, you need to have stipulations on men's as well. Okay? Mm-hmm. So we're not dealing with the fact that it takes two to get pregnant. Okay? Mm-hmm. We're just dealing with women. No, let's deal with the men. Because let's deal with these men that have 7+ kids, 12+ baby mamas, and they are the problem. They create the pee in the cesspool, okay? Let's start there. So let's deal with them too. Don't just deal with us. Now, my third thing is, I feel like with the court's ruling on that, well, overturning Roe v. Wade, I feel like it had a lot to do with minorities. Minorities, African American, Hispanic women, Indians. You're a minority if you are not of Anglo-Saxon descent. Okay. Now, currently, as it stands with the census, you have the Anglo-Saxon European whites that are starting to become the minority and not the majority anymore. So this is why they overturned this, because they see that other races are starting now to become popular and become the majority. And now they're like, no. If you ever paid attention during Trump's whole time in office,
protect white life. Protect white
life. Who were the majority of people backing him? White women, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying, no, it's our rights. We have rights. We have rights. Protect our family, protect our religion. Let's start there. That's an issue. So this bill this overturning is targeting us. And Black women, Black and Hispanic women, are at higher risk from dying from abortions and complications. Okay? We're not even dealing with that. Do we want to go back to the 1960s and 50s when we were doing backdoor abortions with hangers and sterilizing equipment in vodka and on a hot stern, on a hot pot, that some drunk old lady talk about? She used to be a midwife. She don't got no paperwork, no nothing. Talk about she can do it. Do we really want to go through that? Do we want to put our uteruses through that? You basically getting a hysterectomy when you get a backdoor abortion. Are we?
I mean, that's the least you're gonna get. That's the least you're gonna get, because you're gonna have a big loss of life, because a lot of women ain't gonna push through that. They're gonna hemorrhage and they're gonna die. So it's going to be a lot more life loss, because we already know the black market is going to kick in. Everybody is going to try to monopolize off of that. Not only monopolize, but people are going to be desperate to do it, because, you know, at some point, you know, you're going to feel like, hey, I don't have any other means. I don't have the money. It's illegal. They're saying that they're going to put, you're going to get federal charges. You're going to be a felon. You're going to be charged with murder. You're going to have all of these issues. My thing is, I'm two-sided on this, because, you know, I've had to, unfortunately, you know, me growing up, I've had more than one abortion. Okay. And one time it was an emergency abortion, because I had an ectopic pregnancy, and it caused a lot of bleeding and, you know, hemorrhaging and stuff like that. And so it wasn't my choice. It was a necessity. And like you said, with the women's reproductive system is so complex. Hell, women's medicine, they don't even know how to deal with us right now. They don't even understand the uterus and the woman's reproductive system on the body. They don't even know how to deal with it. The only thing they know how to do in Western medicine is cut everything out. Cut out the uterus, get a hysterectomy, cut out fibroids, cut out this, cut out that. They don't even know how to medicate us or heal us or none of that stuff. So their remedy anyway is to, you know, chop our bodies up and, you know, treat us like, you know, we're trash. I mean, more and more Black women are just dying, giving childbirth. They're bleeding out. It's like, how do you go from, you know, this to that? Okay. Now you don't even want us to push through the womb. Now you want to give us C-section and claim it's this and that, so you can get more money for the procedure, and you cutting my baby open before he's, you know.
The C-sections are, depending on the hospital, almost $60,000 a client.
Correct.
That's how much your insurance is paying. I know, because
they billed me for two. I had medical insurance both times I had my children, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and after those C-sections, I wound up owing $10,000 still with medical coverage for both of my kids. So I was $20,000 in debt, even having medical coverage, even though I was paying a premium and all of that stuff. So we got to address, you know, all of those things about what they're trying to do. But the main reason they want abortions done with is because they want us to believe that Black women are the leader in abortion, but it's really white women. And the whole plot is to protect white life by any means. Now, Donald Trump got a lot to do with that shit, because he the one who put all of these justices in place, and he put them in there for a purpose. Okay, when he was just at that rally, what the white woman said. Thank you, Donald Trump. Let's protect white life. So that needs to let y'all know once
And
again,
she
as if it ain't
slipped
as
and said
blatant.
that. She slipped and
Did
said
she?
that.
Did she? Or we just
And
the
he pulled
camera?
that
That's
tail.
what she
Did
you
she?
you she
Did
so
she?
when she not I'm saying slip being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
She meant to say that. That was on her heart
Yeah.
to say. But
I
she
mean, it's
came out with a
real.
statement later saying that, that was something else. She didn't mean to say that, not what she meant. And
Fuck
now
that.
she
They
put out a
always do that
picture
when they
of
get caught.
she has 7 adopted kids, all of different races, most of them African American. She put out a picture of her and her husband saying that all lives matter.
All lives matter. When you can't reproduce, any life matter because you fucking desperate. And that's why you got all of them kids.
And I want to just add in the medical note here that scientifically, right, a heartbeat is not detected on an ultrasound before 6.5 weeks. It's just an embryo, no heartbeat. After 6.5 weeks, a heartbeat, 6.5, 7 weeks, a heartbeat is detected. Now, most women, when they find out they're pregnant, it's after 7+ weeks of missing your period. So that's
absolutely,
that's the regular time that you would normally get your period. You see it didn't come, okay, fine. So once you go ahead and go pee on the stick, by the time you go to get an ultrasound, you between 8 and 9 weeks pregnant. And now you see this little embryo like this big, and you see that little pulse going like this. Okay.
Well, look, I want to speak on a couple things that y'all done talked about. Cause we didn't already hit, like, we didn't graze like some really powerful, points.
Okay, yeah.
I want to kind of like tap into a couple of them now. And I also want to add something too, that we didn't say that's really important on the outcome of banning abortions. So I'm first I want to say I'm glad y'all said it, because like I'm on my like Black Power shit. So like I'm so glad y'all was the one to introduce it, because everyone thinks I'm racist, and I mean maybe I am, but I don't think I am. I from what I was told, racism is prejudice plus power, and being that we're not in a place of power right now, I don't think that you could really say that I'm racist, but I do love my race, and it's very noticeable that white folks is scared of their numbers going down. Now I was born from a white woman and a Black man, but I was raised by a Black woman. And that's her behind me on that picture right there. Susie raised me, and she raised me to be very proud of who I am. And I can see the fear in their eyes because their daughters won't stop having abortions. I can see the fear in their eyes that their daughters keep having sex with Black men and men of color, knowing that they can only create Black children. And the grandfathers and the great grandfathers and the great grandmothers are very upset with their children. They're very upset with their children because they came in without a race, and they may go out without a race, because if we do DNA history, the white man and the white woman is our grandchild, but they are very bad grandchildren.
He's on the first Eve. Let's go.
So
they are in fear of losing themselves, but you can't lose yourself. You're really only finding yourself. So there's no way for them to run away from what's happening. There's nowhere for them to go. Because the dominant gene, it must, whatever goes up must come down. The dominant gene must be dominant. That is the nature of the gene, to be dominant, and it will dominate. Now, we didn't see this domination in our lifetime, but it happened. It was there, and they look with their telescopes. If they look, with their microscopes and telescopes, you'll see it. What is above is below. And the fear that they have is getting so strong. Like both of you have already said, they're having to put laws in place for their own people. Having to put laws in place for their own people, but because of the marching in the streets that we've done, what Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and all the people before us have done, that they can't say that out loud and proud with their white power. They can't say that this is really for us. They can't say that because we do not lead in abortion. In fact, we have 10 and 12 children, just like our grandmamas did. That's what we have. That's what we have, and they are running to the abortion house because they're not ready to be parents because of the way that their children carry themselves oftentimes, or the way they was raised. They don't want to experience parental guidance like that. They don't want to have to, experience what type of child they was when they were little. You understand what I'm saying? Because it gets really deep into the mentality of why a person, would continuously go. And I'm not talking about a medical condition of where you have to do something to save your own life. I'm talking about where you just decide, I'm not ready for motherhood. I'm not ready for that. Oftentimes the reason why we're not ready for that is because of financial reasons, relationship reasons, like relationship status. Is that man going to be there with me to raise the child? Am I ready to be a mother? Because to be a mother now, I have 3 children. To be a mother is a very big job. And it's a lifetime. It's a lifetime of work that nobody pays you for. And it's 10 jobs plus 20 more if you want to really write a list of all the things that it takes. And everybody's not up for that challenge. But why won't we close our legs?
And we can't use abortion as a form of birth control.
Yeah.
We can't do it. We can't do it.
Yeah, but the thing I wanted to mention before I pass the mic to y'all, because I love listening to both of y'all speak. Reason why I was so quiet, because I'm learning too. I'm learning what y'all teaching me. But the other thing that I'm worried about is the domestic violence and the death rate of Black women, or all women of any race now, women of any race. When that man say, you pregnant? Bitch, she ain't supposed to be pregnant. You finna have to get rid of that baby. And she said, well, I can't, I'm gonna pay for your abortion. And she said, well, because ain't nobody watching TV. Everybody don't even fucking know this shit is happening. And she said, well, I can't do that because I go to jail. So now you hemmed up and shit, because he said you're not gonna have that baby. And now you getting beat, kicked in the stomach, pushed down the stairs. Like, come on, this is our, history repeats itself. That was abortion too now. That was an abortion.
That was an abortion. I'm so glad that you're saying that. I'm so happy that we are bringing the light and bringing the truth. But let me acknowledge the people. Anybody that's just tuning in, this is from Princess to Queens podcast. We are live on Facebook. We are on the Sador Radio app. Download it. Tell a friend, and tell a friend. It's gonna be on. We're gonna put it on YouTube and everything, so you guys can play it back. If y'all want to hit me up, y'all have any questions, any concerns, any responses, y'all know on Facebook, I'm at Lakeisha Buckley. And on Instagram, I'm Black_Glory. We have my niece, Yasmin McNear. And then we have our guest, Seven Gunahti, who is the CEO of Get Out of the Box. And we are talking about Roe v. Wade. We are talking about women in general, women's rights, abortion. We just putting it out there. Domestic violence. We are talking about European women. We are talking about Black women. We are talking about melanin. We talking about genes. We talking about power. We talking about it all right now. So that's where we at. Go ahead, Seven. You want to go ahead and finish your?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying the domestic abuse is already heavy and prominent in our communities, because like I said, I do believe that this is really a ploy for white people in general and specifically. But what Yasmin opened my mind up to is that it's, we're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because if we are the ones that have the highest rate of death during giving birth and complications, during birth. And we know this is oftentimes because we're not going to the same doctors and we're not being treated the same way in the hospital when we're giving birth. But because I know a couple doulas that'll take real good care of you. So if anybody need that, you hit me up later on, because these doctors going up in there, letting folks, give birth to, help you give birth. And these people have no love for you. So they're not going to go the extra mile to make sure that you're okay the way that they will do for their own kind. And so that really opened my mind. You saying that's hitting us, that it will hit us, because if we have all these complications, then our numbers in their minds will decrease, though they won't. And their numbers will have an increase. But it's really sad to see. It's really sad to see, because we've been praying, for a long time. Black people have been praying to be treated fairly and treated, correctly, and given an opportunity for unity. And it seems like even in our DNA, we will unify one way or another. They'll either give us unity, or unity looks like it will happen all on its own. And that's scary for them.
Yeah. It's
I'm not
that
scared
sad.
of it though.
I
I'm not scared.
Uh,
I don't think any of us are scared of unity. You know?
no,
no, we're not.
definitely. Seven, I want to touch on something that you said about doulas. So my son is only 10 months old, and I had a doula. And my doula is still a part of my lives. That's a part of my life and my son's life. That's his aunt. Okay. She's family.
Yeah.
And
That's beautiful.
one thing I said when me and my husband got pregnant was that I want what they have. Why can't I have what they have? And I noticed that a lot of us aren't knowledgeable to these things. Auntie, I see your face, but I'm being honest. A lot of us aren't knowledgeable about
No. I know what you're
doulas.
saying,
Oh.
but what I'm saying, doulas, that's our culture.
I know.
Right?
Doulas and
That's
midwives
not
are
their
birthed from
culture. Doulas
our
are our
aunties
culture.
and
So
grandmothers.
they took that
Yes.
from us.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is.
that's
They
that's
took
our
it and
culture.
turned it
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I'm just talking about a lot of the young girls my age and younger that I see that are getting pregnant, and I'm like, are you going to the doctor? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Get a midwife, get a doula. They're like, oh, what is that? And I'm explaining it to them. And
That's
I'm
right.
even, my doula has her own non-for-profit, and I found her through a Black moms group. And my doula was free. Okay.
But
I
that's
didn't
a
have to
blessing.
pay for her. And she came to me 3 times a month, came to my home, sat in my living room, brought a yoga mat, brought me a ball, and we worked. And it wasn't just her doing services in regards to prepare me to give birth, but it was doing health and wellness as well. So I think at times, the thing that puzzles me about some of us, the Bible says that we're going to die from a lack of knowledge, right? Our people die from lack of knowledge, and we're not knowledgeable. And I want us to start to be knowledgeable on things that can help us. Even when you guys were talking in regards to holistic, they want to cut everything out. Stop eating fried chicken. Talking to myself too. Stop eating out. Stop drinking alcohol. Change your eating habits. Change the way you're living your lives. Work out. Drink water. Like, take vitamins. A lot of us don't take vitamins. We don't get checkups enough. We don't go to the GYN enough. We don't even get regular primary care checkups enough. Like, it's so many things that we could combat.
That's right.
Those medical conditions that they say we have, or is predominant in the African American community, but African American women, no, we can do a lot of things to reverse a lot of those conditions that they say as well. And then too, going back to the labor and delivery, I had to have a C-section. Did I plan for a C-section? No. I had a birthing plan. Most women don't have birthing plans. I had a birthing plan, and I stated that I do not want this type of medication. I don't want these type of doctors. If my doctor is not there to deliver my baby, my doula and my midwife will step in to go X, Y, and Z. All of us were on the same page in regards to me giving birth. Who do I want in a delivery room? Who I don't want in a delivery room? What do I need to make myself comfortable and healthy in that process? And I will say this, you can plan all you want to, okay, I'm going to push naturally and things like that. But things do happen to where my baby got stuck. So my baby got
you had to go with the emergency services and everything.
Right. But I will say that they took very good care of me. And like Seven was saying, it depends on, people treat you different. Auntie said it too, people treat you different with healthcare. I was a private client with private insurance. So when I got to the hospital, they rolled out the red carpet. My room, oh no, your room been waiting for you. We were waiting for you to come and check in. Oh no, she's a private client. Every time anybody came to see me, oh, she's a private client of Dr. Wong's. Oh, she's a private client for
Isn't that something? Isn't that something?
And I said, I imagine if I would have Medicaid, there's nothing wrong with Medicaid, because I miss it. You heard? Okay, because you could go anywhere. You don't need no network.
Off Medicaid, so of course not, right?
All right, but it's so different to see the type of attention that you get. and how they pay attention to your needs and wants. And even with me, my labor in a sense being induced, having Pitocin and me saying like, telling the midwife, I don't feel good. Everybody's running. But I said, imagine those girls that don't get everybody's running.
That don't have
and they don't know something is wrong. And they feel pain, but they're telling them, oh no, that's just contractions. And they are getting ignored.
That's true.
So it's very important for us as women and as young women to take care of ourselves. And then too, like you said, abortions are not birth control. Please, young girls, please hear me. Abortions are not birth control. If you are going to be sexually active, this is something that you need to have a conversation with a healthcare provider about, or an older woman that you trust and that knows what she's talking about. Be active in knowing what contraceptives are. You have to know your options. You have IUDs, you have the chips, which I do not recommend. Okay, you have NuvaRings, you have the patch, you have the shots, you have being abstinent. You have these options, but we don't even go into all of that. Everybody just out here just freely dropping it like it's hot. That's like boom.
I vote, Yasmin. I vote for abstinence. If you, I'm just being honest. Like,
me too.
I know that the youth don't really want to hear that, and they like, well, were you abstinent? No, I wasn't. That's why I'm trying to tell you. Like, I vote for abstinence. I know what not being abstinent.
Vote for it too.
Yeah, I vote for abstinence.
I'm telling you this.
Yeah, it's not trauma. It's not that deep.
No, having sex, you can wait on that.
Yeah,
you can wait on that.
You really can.
You know?
Especially,
I didn't have a baby until I got married.
Blessings. You're missing out on your blessings. You opening your legs and you tapping in the territory and you making soul ties with people you have no idea what you were doing. If I knew then, listen to me, every princess out there, every queen, I started having sex at a very young age. And it was the worst thing that I could ever do. I was unbeknownst, I was, very vulnerable. My mom, she wasn't, governing over me. She, was out doing some other things, and that, left a lot of things open, especially the curiosity and all of that. And an easy way to be, reeled in by men. And, me seeking approval, me emotionally wounded and feeling a little bit of abandoned. So I saw, the comfort. You tell me I'm pretty, shoot you some game, and you tell me you like me, and damn near you love me. And if I do this, that'll make me feel accepted, that you would accept me if I do this. And it's just
and that's the
tragic.
Story of a lot of women.
Tragic. It's so tragic. And this is why I'm being so transparent, because I don't think God put me through all of that just, for me to keep it to myself and not try to go and save a sister or a young princess out there. He used it as a testimony for me. Now, I ain't perfect, but I'm going to tell you the truth, man. Keep your legs closed. Value your body and your spirit. We in the spiritual time. This is spiritual warfare. Those men had no business entering me, dumping their spirits into me, wicked spirits, killing spirits, gambling spirits, hustling spirits.
And then that man ain't never the same no more after you have sex with him too. It's like sex is it's a gateway, a door. Yes, it's definitely a door. And when you're looking, because like I said, your story is the story for so many young girls, and they don't know it because they're right at the beginning of the story, where they're feeling abandoned, where they don't have the moral support and emotional support of a family, where their love language may be touch, and they don't understand that doesn't mean you have to have sex. You understand what I'm saying? Like it gets so deep, and then the mental warfare, like you said, the mental warfare of abandonment, because just because you have a parent in the home doesn't mean you still don't feel abandoned. And that's what I'm hearing you say. You had a parent, but you still felt abandoned. You still felt alone. And oftentimes the youth and adults will reach out for someone to comfort us, for someone to make us feel better. And you're not thinking about diseases. You're not thinking about
None of that.
the exchange of spiritual energy during intercourse. You're not thinking about the
None of
possibilities
that.
of what pregnancy could do to you, whether you want it or you don't
None
want
of
it.
that.
You know, because I was the
Correct.
one that wanted a baby. I wanted a baby real young, because I wanted to start a family. I didn't feel like I had a family, so I wanted a family. You know, and then
I
also
baby
another thing I
late.
want to touch on is that a lot of women have been sexually abused, and so they feel like they've already been tainted. You know, you've already been
Yes.
tainted, is what you're telling
Yes.
yourself.
Correct.
Because that's how I was introduced to sex. I was introduced to sex through abuse. You understand what I'm saying? And then you feel tainted,
Wow.
and you feel like, well, I don't really even have a virginity to give to somebody. You know, so if they already been taking that from you, you may feel like you don't deserve to not have sex. Does that make sense? You don't deserve
many women feel like that. I'm so glad you touched on that, Seven.
But you
Many
do
women
deserve it,
feel
though.
like that when you violate it and
Mhm.
you have something stolen from you, that makes a woman feel so much more pure. And
Yeah.
and women, we go low and we go in depression and feel like we don't deserve anything. And
That's
the
right.
devil plays on that with us.
That's right.
He'll ride that on our back. You are not worthy.
That's
you don't
right.
deserve this. You're not gonna
you'll
get
feel
this.
like
You
you're
don't
nothing.
even know.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
you
you're
don't
nothing.
think you
Like you.
not,
That's right.
because of that lifestyle I was living. He already told me you're not having no family. You're not having no baby. Nobody wants to have a baby with you. You're not gonna have a husband. You're not gonna have this and that because of
Yeah.
this, because of that. So
right.
this is warfare for women. You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying?
And most young
So
girls
many
that are
women
sexually assaulted do turn that negative touch into promiscuity. So then it
Right.
turns into
Mhm.
them constantly needing to have sex because you remember when you have sex, it releases endorphins in your brain.
And then also,
from-
I agree with you. And then also, I think they want to recreate that bad experience. You know, because sex is a
A
bad
lot of
thing.
people trauma bond. That is trauma bonding.
Yeah,
Name
because sex
Keisha
is supposed to be
now.
this beautiful thing. It's supposed to be a beautiful thing. And then if you are introduced to sex through abuse, through being raped and molested, it's not beautiful. Sex isn't beautiful, but you want it to be beautiful. And you know, to make something ugly beautiful, you may feel like you need some practice. You know,
And you keep trying.
Yeah, you keep trying to make it beautiful, and then
That's
you
true.
become careless with yourself. And then that's how we get to where we are now, where we're talking about not knowing what to do with your body. And then you already confused and trying to figure out what to do with your body. And now somebody gonna tell you what you should do with your body.
Right. Well, I'm absolutely pro-life. You know, I regret having had an abortion before? Absolutely. You know, with that, after I had my first abortion, I was so sad and so depressed. I was so traumatized. You know what I'm saying? I felt I felt the pressure of, you know, hell. I was 14 years old when I got pregnant. I was a 14-year-old.
Wow.
Okay. And I was so afraid of, you know, telling anybody that I was pregnant, you know, telling an adult, you know, telling somebody in my family. So God bless my aunt, my favorite aunt, Aunt Annie. You know, she has been very pivotal in my life, you know, teaching me and raising me. She stood in the line for what my mother lacked, she filled in. Okay. Because I still had my mom around, and however she mothered, I'm learning that because I'm a mother. However I can mother, I'm mother. Where I can fit in and get in, that's how I'm doing it. It's an everyday experience. You don't have one day that's actually the same when you have kids. You guys are mothers, you know it. You come up with a method, you cope with it, you deal with it, you move forward. And praise God for my aunt and my grandmother who filled in on the lines for whatever my mother lacked. And that's what us families do. And that's what family is all about. And that's what we should do and everything. But, you know, thank God I conjured up the courage because it was information out, you know, I'm pregnant or whatever. And as soon as I got the results that I was pregnant, going to like a Planned Parenthood clinic and whatever to get the results, immediately they had the information right there for a 14-year-old, how you can get rid of this pregnancy. Okay. So this is what you were bombarded with at 14. You were already too young to be having sex. You didn't understand it. You just was doing it because you were looking for attention and approval. All right. So now you pregnant, you got this kid in your womb. You don't even understand what the hell that mean or what's going on.
Right.
You feel it fluttering and this, that, and the third. You told old dude, oh, I'm pregnant. Same thing you said, what? You pregnant? Is it mine? Is it? You got to go through that argument and that pressure and that, that stress or whatever. Then you got to come back and like, oh shit, who I'm gonna tell? My mama? Who I don't want to tell my mother? She gonna kill me. I can't bring no baby in my grandmother's house. This is her house. Mama ain't got no goddamn house. So am I gonna go to my grandmother like, yo, Gigi, I got a whole baby coming. Am I gonna burden her with that when she trying to put food on the table? We already in a small apartment. We in the projects, piss on the elevator, shit in the thing, da 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 da. So now I go to the doctor. You positive? You pregnant? Same information in the same hand they giving you. You can get rid of it. You could abort it. What the hell is an abortion? What is that?
Right.
You don't have
What
to come
is
home
it?
with the baby. You don't have to come home with the baby. My grandmother won't be mad. It's a procedure.
Right.
They're gonna put me to sleep. This I don't know what the fuck that is. That's what I'm saying. This is what we dealing with in the hood. This
Right.
real talk. We don't be understanding what we doing. I ain't
That's
have
right.
no idea of what abortion. I didn't even consider it. You killing the soul, you killing the fetus. All this stuff that I'm learning now that I'm 48 years old. I had no idea about no Roe v. Wade. I ain't know none of that. I ain't know none of this. I ain't know, conception and viability and fetal, all these big words and the stuff that I understand now. I ain't have none of that when they had me go to Planned Parenthood for the test, and then Planned Parenthood immediately tell me this. All they said, you got a Medicaid card, you ain't got to go home with the baby. And that's all I understood. You ain't going home with the baby. You ain't got to tell nobody, da, 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 da. And I told my auntie, and my auntie, prayed for me and said, hey, this ain't a good thing you doing, but it ain't a bad thing because we can't afford another mouth in the household or whatever the hell she said at that particular time. Or look, is this what you gonna do or whatever? I'm like, auntie, just roll with me. I ain't ready for all that, whatever the case may be. I ain't understand it. And
you should have gotten therapy after that.
I'm so
and that's
sorry
another.
you had to
I'm
go
in
through
the
that.
hood.
I'm
in the hood.
But that's
yes.
another thing. But then that's another thing that I want to touch on too. That
when we get therapy at real talk, who got therapy on
that's
Medicaid?
what I was getting ready to say.
That. I'm from the projects. I'm
in
a
the
little
African
black
American
girl.
community.
The therapy
Of course,
is what?
There's no booklet on how to parent, how to mother, because we see our mothers struggling or them attempting or trying to mother. We may not like what they have done, but they got the job done to a certain extent because you ain't die, right? This is what I hear a lot. So then it's like, okay, so let me take some of the positive pieces of that. And now I have a kid now. I tried to mother, but then I wound up turning into my mother anyway.
That's right.
Not actually talking to my kids and trying to help them navigate their feelings and emotions. And like she said, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. And at that time, that's what we got to talk more about therapy in our community and mental health, because it should have been something that says, okay, now you've been through that experience, you need to talk to somebody. You need to, how do you feel? It
should have been.
Like, what are you going through? Because dealing with depression, anxiety, and suicide at 14, that's what comes after that. 7, you may not know, but I'm a crisis counselor for a suicide hotline, our national suicide hotline. And I was dealing with a situation like that. And she was 14 years old. And every piece of me wanted to cry. Oh. And I was like, what? The big sister in me wanted to rise up and be like, nah, hold on. I know I'm not supposed to give you my number, but let me text you on the side, because we're your mother.
Right.
We're your peoples. She was
hiding
it for months. You 7.5 months pregnant now. What do? Who do you talk to? So you have to call the suicide line because you don't know where to go.
Thank God she got that now.
I know, but even
we've evolved. We've evolved. We've evolved. We have evolved. It was no suicide hotline that I could talk
right.
to. And many other young ladies out here don't even know that because we don't have the resources. We don't have the financial stability in the hood. We don't have the information.
But everybody got,
and I don't think
I feel like that's an excuse because everybody got a cell phone. Everybody get on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
But we live in
chat,
survival mode. Though. We live in
doing
survival
the
mode.
Like,
we live in survival mode.
The
phone is sit there and it's marketed to you. Mental health isn't marketed to you. You're gonna have whatever they market to you the most. Whatever they market, if they tell you tomorrow you got to wear a face mask. Oops, they already did that. They told you in one day you had to wear a face mask. Now everybody wear them. I'm not saying you don't need the mask. I'm saying whatever they tell you the most is what you're gonna do. See, they won't talk to you about mental health because they don't want your mental to be healthy. The moment your mentality is healthy, your spirit aligns. When you have mental health, you automatically have spiritual health. The mental and the spiritual is the opposite of the same coin. You see what I'm saying? So if they was to promote mental health to those who are most in poverty, which is people of color, then you would not only have the dominant gene, you would also then have healing of the dominant gene. And now that's real scary. You're talking about black babies is scary. Black babies healed, intelligent, born into freedom. Now that's real scary. You know, not to us now.
That's the threat. Well, that's the whole threat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ain't that the whole threat?
Yeah.
That's why they got Planned Parenthood and all that kind of stuff there. That's why Planned Parenthood.
And that's why I made it my business to cut generational curses when it came to me.
That's right.
My son would not have to endure anything emotionally that I ever had to deal with because I will not be emotionally violent towards him or physically violent. We're not doing that. No, I'm going to have a healthy
or the fact that he was born in wedlock. In wedlock. You understand? The fact that he was born in wedlock, that's a curse lifted within itself, niece.
Listen, my mother had me at 14. So I understand.
I know I'm your mother.
Okay,
I've been your mother forever.
Right.
That's why you my niece. And
so
I was pregnant at 14. Do you understand it?
I understand. Okay. Y'all was in these streets, boy. All right now. Go ahead. Y'all was hot girls before hot girls was invented.
Not only was we in the streets,
but see, that's not.
They set it up for us to be vulnerable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not even a hot girl because really what that is we're going back to, we don't need the counseling just after the abortion. You really needed the counseling before you was having sex. You see what I'm saying? So I want to be well known and no debate, but for the youth out there, you're not a hot girl. You're emotionally broken and you're hurting, and you need to seek dope ass black people or whatever race you in. You know, dope ass like role models, whoever you see that's doing something similar to what you want to do, and talk to them and get up out of your friends. Like y'all be talking about the wrong shit to each other, young children and teenagers, like and young adults. Like y'all be talking about the wrong things. You talk about the things you do want, not the things that you don't want. You see what I'm saying? We out here being how you say the word? Promiscuous. When really you need to learn in what ways you like to be loved. You know, because love comes.
Oh, your love language.
Yeah. And in what ways you like to be loved, because having sex with somebody is not even the heights of an experience of love, especially if the person is not like somebody that you really even supposed to be with. You know, you really just only harming yourself. You know, the truth of the matter is a lot of the youth that's having sex at 13 and 14, it was because how do you even know about sex at 14 or 13 or 12 and 11? That means you was introduced to something that you should not have been introduced.
The songs and the media. The songs.
Yeah, you've been introduced to things that you shouldn't be introduced to.
Yeah.
But that then also goes into the family life.
Yes.
Having a healthier family. And like Yasmin said, breaking generational curses, becoming people that provide something for our children that we weren't provided with. You know, the safety of a loving home. And that's why we have to get our minds together. because I found
Exactly.
myself being like my parents, and I had a couple parents, but being like the ones that I don't like, the ones that I
You
don't
said you had a
admire their
couple
ways.
parents.
Yeah, I did. I'm adopted. Yeah, so
Okay.
I had a couple different people that were my parents, but we
Right.
will find ourselves if you never learn a new way, the only way that you were ever introduced to would be the only way you know. So if you only known violence, although you may not want to be violent, if you never learn a new way, violence to be all that you become. So I think it's important to educate ourselves,
Absolutely.
and create these safe spaces like this platform to talk to one another and uplift and inspire one another. Like, I think it's a beautiful thing that you work on that call line. I think it would be also beautiful if we created something else specifically geared around before people get suicidal too. Like, what happened, before you get that far, like how she called, some people may call, like you said, not because they're even suicidal quite yet, but just they need somebody.
They need somebody to talk to.
Yeah, they need
Anybody.
to talk to.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
to listen to
I mean,
them and talk to them.
I meet so many young ladies who need that, who
I
have
literally, most
great
of my
parents, who
clients,
have everything they need. Yes.
most of my clients that do call in, most of the time, I want to say like 75% of the time, it's a suicide call, or suicidal ideation, which is just thoughts. But
Yeah.
the age range is 14 to 21. Literally.
Lower.
And I work the
Mhm.
hours, I work overnight. So I work from 11 to 7 a.m. 14 years old at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, like, I need help. Oh, where's your mother? She sleep, but she don't really care. Like, it's so mind-boggling. And it's like, what you could do but so much, but talk them through that moment.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what happens after they hang up the phone?
Right. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like we having the conversations. This is opening doors. You know what I'm saying, to the actions that come after even these conversations, because that's what I want to do with GOTB. I want to put places in power for people to come in there and speak, like how they call you on the phone, like mentorship. We need that in our communities, mentorship. People need to be able to talk to you, Yasmin. People need to be able to talk to you, Keisha. They need to be able to reach us, and get this on a regular basis. That's why I'm so thankful to be here, y'all. These are some powerful conversations. I really hope that some young girls are able to listen to this and feel empowered.
But I even noticed some young girls today, these are young girls that, that minds are so warped into social media where they don't want mentors if you're not in a strip club, if you're not making fast money, if you're not on Instagram, half naked, twerk session up. I'm talking about bottles to the face, hookahing it down. Like, I'm not putting that on social media. I'm not doing that. They don't aspire. Some people don't aspire to be where I'm at, and not saying that I'm in a space where I'm just like, it's so grandiose. No, but aspire to go through the process of going to school. I got 3 degrees. I got married first. I waited 4.5 years after I got married to have a baby, till I was in a position to where I said, okay, well, I think I'm ready now, or I'm considering it, and it happened. And then I was able to take care of my responsibilities. Like, they're not aspiring to do those things. I
have to disagree. I have to disagree with that.
I was going to say that
the reason why I want to disagree.
Well, maybe that's New York young girls. I don't know.
In a healthy way. Let me tell you why you may think that. You may think that oftentimes because we don't get to know these little girls. We just see what they're looking at. We see what they're paying attention to, but it kind of goes right back to whatever's marketed to them the most. The version of you is not marketed. Mm-hmm. Who you are is not marketed. That's not what's pushed up on them to admire that. That's lame if you wait until you married to have, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's marketed to them is the strip pole, is the club, is the liquor, is the hookah, is the cigarette and the weed and the sex. So that's what's marketed to them. But when you take those same little girls and you sit them down and you talk to them, you get a totally different story from them. But when they're trying to see
that they are broken, and they are crying out.
The only way you could want that and be a child is you be broken. That's the only way you could want it. So be encouraged, because those same little girls, they're gonna admire you from afar. And until we figure out a way to bridge the gap between that, because that's really a fear place where they're afraid to think that what you're doing is right and that what she's doing is wrong. Because technically what she's doing ain't wrong, because she's grown. She can do whatever she want to do, but you a child and you should be thinking, a lot more pure, right? Isn't that what childhood is about? About
it's
having
supposed to be pure and innocent.
It's supposed to be, right? You're supposed to have an opportunity to be okay, to not have to fight every day and worry about what you're gonna do or how you're gonna do it. But our children are fighting, and they always have.
They don't have opportunities to just be kids,
right? Because the poverty, the poverty is horrendous.
Or they have parents that's in their ear. Oh, you don't need no man. You don't need this. I take all care of all y'all by myself. And sometimes the toxicity is spewed from the mothers. Like, so now you're putting your hurt.
It's a generational curse, like you said. It was spewed from her mother. And that's where the real healing needs to happen, because the mothers are broken. And the father, and also I'm not an advocate for women. I'm an advocate for the Black nation. So I stand for the Black man, the Black woman, and the Black child. Correct. And I love my wife. We are poly though. We we love the Black man. But the little boys and the little girls have grown up. The broken little boys and the broken little girls have grown up, and they're parents now. Right? And
that's exactly what that is.
Because our parents were broken too, but I'm not talking. Our parents were more quiet about their brokenness. They were able to hide.
They suffered in silence.
Yeah, they suffered in silence. Well, now
many died in silence.
Yeah. We're hurting in a radical way. In a way where we refuse to be quiet. We're hurting in a powerful way. Where our hurt is powerful. It's been our music is telling you how hurt we are when all of our women are bitches and hoes, and none of our women are worthy of a beautiful song or a love song. Right. We're only worthy of
and we're going to kill each other. Yeah, and everybody should die.
Right, everybody should do drugs and have sex, and that's our music. Yes. Yeah, but then the media, it's not ran by Black people. So then we have to remember that the brainwashing, because it all goes back to the body and the choices you make. The brainwashing, it starts with what you listen to and what you see. And if everything you hear
and what you speak and everything and what you speak,
but you're going to speak what you hear and see.
Correct. Right? And that's why they do it in the music industry. That's why they won't put a positive sister like me and you who gonna be spitting, some form of knowledge or whatever, and trying to empower and enlighten. That's why they're gonna pick the set of young ladies who they putting out here, and pretty much going, young girls are gonna look up to them because they want to be a city girl. They want to pop it like it's hot. They want to get, the surgery and get the body done, and they want to worship the whole big image. Thing. A whole image. Your health is not good, but you want to go and get surgery, and you die on that table because you have hypertension and you have high blood pressure and you have all of these medical illnesses, but you want to live up to an image, and that is costing you your life. We see it all the time in our society. But I'm blessed that God, gave me, all of us a vision, to uplift young ladies and to empower them. And I am so happy that God gave me this vision, and I'm acting on it. That's why we're here today. This is why we have From Princess to Queens podcast. That's why we have Pretty Princess Cosmetics. And that's why we have the Pretty Hearts Foundation, because I don't care what is going on. It is my purpose that I finally found through much trial and tribulation, through all the lack of information, with my personal relationship with God. He revealed to me that he is glorious. And that's why the name of my company is Glorious One Enterprise, because he is the glorious one. And he is merciful and loving and kind. And he is, his mercy endures forever. And he revealed to me this vision. And he said, I often say, God, why you put me through this? Well, why did this have to happen? And I got to endure so much, and all my whining and crying, and God. He said, because I was preparing you for a time as this. You got to get out here and talk to these girls. You got to let them know You had the abortion. You did this. You did that. It wasn't to make you look bad. It was so you could serve my purpose. So they could see that you overcame the dragon by the blood of the lamb and the word of his testimony. And you got to get out here on the front lines and try to do something and live your life as a testimony. And you got to come and you got to pour into other people. I bless you, Lakeisha, so you could be a blessing. So don't get offended if somebody you see on the street or when a little girl stare at you. That's not to an offense. They see something that I instilled in you that you don't even see in yourself. I can't tell you, since I started this business, Pretty Princess Cosmetics, I have little girls just staring and glaring at me and saying hi and just taken to me. And I'm shocked because I still feel like I haven't arrived. And that's God letting me know, I put this in you. You going to make this manifest. You going to lead them to something. You going to show them something. You going to uplift them and do something. I have met so many powerful, beautiful, broken little young ladies that I just been speaking life over into and just uplifting and empowering and helping. He blessed me to be a help. People calling me, sisters calling me. I'm meeting sisters like y'all. I got my niece. I got so many people backing me and supporting this business and supporting this movement. And it's growing every day. And I need you all. And that's why I call on my sisters like y'all and the people and the resources I know. Because I know we all been through something and we all got a testimony. We need to get out here and be transparent about these things and get to the root of these problems. And I ain't perfect. I'm like I said, I'm still learning and I'm still growing. I'm still repenting. I'm still praying, but at least I know my purpose now. At least I have a clear idea of what my purpose is. And I'm working towards that. And I'm trying to give back and pull it together. And that's why God has allowed me this platform, because others don't have the platform. That's why God put me in a certain position and he blessed me with certain things as a single mother. My baby father died. Denim father, he died. And his son is well taken care of. And I'm in a great position right now. I was blessed with my inheritance. I mean, I have a lot of things, but I know I was blessed with my inheritance. I'm sitting right here right now and I could help other people. You know what I'm saying? I could position somebody underneath me and whatever. And that's why he's doing all these wonderful things. And that's why I'm so honored to have you young ladies here right now. And we airing this out and we're being transparent and we exercising love amongst each other. And we're going to get it done. We started the Pretty Hearts Foundation and our first back to school give back is going to be on July 30th. And I want y'all to come out and bring those little princesses out there. We are going to have school supplies. We're going to have all kind of goodies and fun. We're going to eat. We're going to have hot dogs and everything. And we're going to speak life into each other. And we're going to uplift each other. Nice. Yasmin is on the board. So that way we are going to be offering this hotline to young ladies as well. We're getting younger and younger because we are seeing that younger ladies are emotionally distressed, they're mentally distressed, and most of all, they just need somebody to talk to. They need somebody to talk to. They're tired of looking at videos and all of that is not filling the void anymore. And only really God could fill that void. And that's what I'm learning as well. But you still need people you could talk to. Thank God for my spiritual leaders and my mentors. Thank God for a multitude of counselors in my life. Thank God for a multitude of counselors. Thank God for Lisa Manning. Thank God for Beverly Wynn. Thank God for everybody at my church, Atlanta Metro Cathedral. No, I'm not there every Sunday. No, I'm not this and I'm that. But I stay proud off of connecting. And thank God that I'm still connected to these great women warriors who have been through marriages, who have been through the mud, who have did this, who did that, and they are still on the front lines, fasting and praying, and here to assist young ladies like me. Who am I to not pay it going forward?
That's right.
And that's what we talking about.
And before we go, I just want to give the hotline number. If you are feeling stressed, if you're feeling anxious, you're dealing with anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, homicidal ideation, if you're just dealing with the woes of everyday life, feel like you are feeling overwhelmed,
postpartum depression,
right, and you need someone to talk to, the number is 800-273-8255. Again, 800-273-8255. 8255. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. I don't care where you are in the United States or across the world. You can text in as well, okay? And it is a confidential line. You can call in anonymous. You don't have to give your name. You don't have to give your age. You just can say, you know what, I just really need somebody to talk to, and a counselor or peer, which is usually someone that possibly have gone through the same thing you're going through, and they are able to relate and have a more in-depth conversation with you, will be available.
That's a beautiful
And
thing.
does this cover grief counseling, all
Yes,
types of counseling?
everything. And we also are able to give resources as well. If you do call, if you're in the New York City area, we are able to give direct resources to programs that we are affiliated with. And then outside of that, our counselors can help you look for resources in your area.
Give them the number one more time, Yasmin.
The number is 800-273-8255. Again, 800-273-8255.
Now, Seven, you're a wonderful lady. You came on here.
No, you're dope.
I appreciate
with a
y'all.
lot of power.
I feel the vibration through Zoom. I feel the vibration through the Zoom. I'm telling you, the energy is right. I like it.
Tell these people, tell these young ladies, something that, would empower them, something that, you want them to know, not only about you, about life, a young princess that may be, all alone and may be in, distress, or just want somebody to talk to, or want to figure out, how do I start a business, or what could I do to turn this situation around, or maybe a young lady in domestic violence. I mean, what would you say to them right now?
Oh, the first thing that thank you. The first thing that came to my mind when you asked me that is love, self-love. Self-love is the single most important thing that I push. Like I push loving yourself, because when you reach out for other people to do this, to love you, you leave yourself so vulnerable, hoping that you can give them your heart. You want to give them your heart, and then if you give them your heart, which was the gift of the Creator, then you've given them something that really belonged to you. The heart was given to you for you to love. And we skip over ourselves. We skip over ourselves to come love some other person. I want to love you. I want to love you. And then I want you to then love me. Instead of me loving myself, you loving yourself, and then us sharing that love with one another. When we don't love ourselves, we feel a void. And that love, the love of yourself, is the love of the Creator, or God, or Allah, however a person want to look at it, the most high supreme being, your maker. Having that love relationship will remove the void of pain and hurt. I'm not saying things won't be heavy. I'm not saying that there won't still be trials, tribulations, burdens, challenges, because then, what would life be? We would have to stand still forever. And then the challenge would be that'd be the new challenge, that we standing still. So there's always going to be some form of adversity. But when you have love for yourself, it's like you see with new eyes. You see everything differently when you feel loved. And oftentimes we're waiting on someone else to come and love us. We're waiting on our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our brothers, the neighbor, the boy at school, or the girl at school, or we want someone to love us. That's what everybody wants. We all just want to be loved. But if you love yourself, then the void won't be there. You can still share love with other people, but if you share love with someone else, their cup will eventually waste away. They're going to become thirsty too. And it's nonsense when you already have love that you can share for yourself. You want them, I kiss my own hand. I kiss myself. I hug myself because I love myself. Look in the mirror. Like when you look in the mirror, can you see yourself? Or do you see the reflection of a character that you've built? Right? So to get to know myself would be a form of love. So taking out the time to get to know who you are. Like, who am I? Who am I without my glasses? Who am I if I cut my hair? Who am I if I don't have the tattoos, or I'm not married, I don't have children, I don't have a necklace? Like, who am I naked? Who am I? Who am I? And that would be your gateway to self-love, is to stop for a moment. Take time every day. People say, I don't have time. I am so busy. Make time, create time. You are a creator. Create the time. Create the time before you walk out of your room. And even if you have a roommate, before you open your mouth, before you open your eyes later, make the time, force the time, create the time for yourself, to be you all by yourself, with only you and the creator. And if you don't believe in the creator, then you the highest version of yourself, then be still for a moment to hear what it sounds like to just be you. And it gets scary, y'all. It gets scary to be right there by yourself with yourself. Nobody wants to. Why you don't want to do it? Why you don't want to be there, right there with yourself?
Because they afraid.
Yeah, you're afraid of the power of your own reflection. You're afraid of the sorrow and the pain of all the things that you did that you don't agree with. But the creator's already forgiven us, because why would you be created to do a thing that the creator did not know you would do? So the real forgiveness starts with you forgiving you. You have to forgive yourself for the darkness at your door. But we are full of light and darkness. So we should forgive ourselves, end whatever it is that you feel like is harming you. And oftentimes it's not somebody else that's harming you, it's us. Because why am I allowing you in my life if you're harmful to me? Now for the children, for the poor babies, who the parents are who is harming them, you have to wait. You have to make it. You got to tough it through it. You got to get through it. And just know that however mama treating you is probably how she was treated. You know, nobody gives you a book on how to love your children, how to raise them. Oftentimes you don't know what the hell you're doing. So if you can make it through, if you can get out the door, if you can get to 18 with some sanity, plot and plan what you're going to do now. Plot it out and plan it now. Plot it out and plan everything that you're going to do and how you're going to do it, because you have time to figure it out. See, because when you become an adult and there's no one taking care of you, then you don't have the time to figure it out unless you make the time to figure it out. So it's always an answer, and it's going to always start with you. There is no answer outside of yourself. Whether it's starting a business, whether it's healing, building and growing, whether it's escaping a domestic situation, like it starts with you looking in the mirror, looking at your reflection. If you don't have a mirror, you can't get to no water, look at your hands. Look at you, you're here. And you have all of the power to do whatever it is that you desire. Whatever you desire, you already have the power to do it. It's just about this here. What do you want to do? You have to figure that out. You don't know what you want to do, so you're not doing nothing. You got to figure out who you are and what you want to do. And that is self-love. That is self-love. Cutting the connections that are unhealthy for you, that's not positive for you, that is self-love. So if I had one message that I would constantly push, it's going to be to love yourself. Because if you're waiting for someone else to come love you, and most of us don't even know what love is, you'll be waiting your whole life. And that's nonsense to wait so long for something that is already inside. Love yourself. Love yourself, and you will attract love. Love will be all around you.
Southern, you a bad mama jammer. You a bad girl. You a bad girl.
Wow, she got me laughing. Oh God.
All praise is due to the creator.
You are a bad girl.
That was so much.
That was dope.
So much.
Trust me.
I appreciate y'all for giving me an opportunity.
Wasn't that dope, me? Love.
Yes, this was awesome. This was awesome. This was awesome.
That's why I got you here. You understand? This is what I want everybody to hear. That's amazing. You're such a dope person. Tell us what's coming up for you musically. When we gonna get a new video? When we gonna get some music? And how do they reach you? If they want to reach you and go out, get out that box, and they want to, a session with Seven, and they want to contact you, we need all your handles, your email. I want them to have full access to you.
I appreciate that. So my company is GLTB Studios. The website is gltbstudios.com. So it's real easy. Make sure you put the S though, because there's more than one studio. We do many things. We do music, film, hair, book writing. It's pretty much a one-stop shop for creativity. Marketing, web development. I make flyers, whatever it is that you need to do for your business, I can help you do that too. So if you want to start a business, you're trying to figure out how to do that, like, you can reach out to me. My company number is 770-317-3140. That again is 770-317-3140. And my website is www.gotbstudios.com. GOTB Studios. All my everything is Gunahti. So that's Gunahti. Any platform that I am on, I'm not on all of them because it's a lot of new ones now, but Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I think TikTok. I ain't ticking and talking yet. But Gunahti. Now, as far as what's up next is, I was recently filming in Mobile, Alabama, Mob Town, deep down up in the South, my homeland. We're filming a movie called Schizo. And it's to bring awareness to mental illness in the Black community. It's about a woman who had been going through a lot and been going through a lot of different things. She's a music artist, but she was also gifted in poetry and writing and just a lot of different things, comedy, and she just couldn't figure out what she wanted to do with her life. And her parents had passed away. She was dealing with schizophrenia, and she wound up being hospitalized and breaking out the hospital. So it's a very powerful film. Right now, what we're doing is we got a lot of filming done. I wasn't able to finish the film, but it was a beautiful experience. Like all the actors, like shout out to all of the actresses and actors that came out, the people that helped do the set. Shout out to Ricky, shout out to Juicy the Master, like shout out to KO, shout out to Nikki Coleman, a really funny comedian out of Mississippi. Just shout out to everybody that came through and just made it a beautiful experience. Right now we're turning into a pilot to get more people out there who are interested in film and interested in Black female filmmakers, or just people who are here trying to do positive things and push a message, entertainment and education, pushing a message to see what we can, if we can get some more money put behind the film, because the vision I have, it was a lot bigger once I start working on the project than I thought it was going to be. And so we need a little more time and a couple more dollars. And I ain't gonna do no GoFundMe, so we're just gonna see what the things in the world will doing. The next project that I'm working on now is Back to the Children. We started off with the children, Back to the Children. We're working on a series that my children do called the Kwanzaa series. So my children have a show called the Lyrics Tribe Show, and you can also find them on my pages, and they have their own pages, the Lyrics Tribe, which is LYRIXTRIBE. And my children are very knowledgeable, funny, beautiful, and talented, and they are providing a space for Black children, any race, but especially the Black child, to have someone that looks like them talking about things they need to hear. So it's a comedy, but it's an educational comedy. We're always trying to uplift, build, heal, and grow the Black nation, and give us an opportunity to elevate our minds so that we can take our rightful place in the world. And when we take our rightful place in the world, then the world will heal itself. It will heal itself. So we're working on the Kwanzaa show, and then hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers because we've been working on this film for a couple of years now. It's called A Kwanzaa Wish. So that's the first movie that I ever began filming. Shout out to Billy Golden in Jacksonville for his role, and then Juju for their roles. And it was just it's a beautiful film. And we just timed out last year because you kind of want to film during the holiday season. And we kind of timed out last year. So we're going to go again. But now I'm in California. I'm not in Mobile, Florida anymore. So we're going to see what these palm trees and stuff look like out here in the city. We're looking for locations right now, looking for actors and actresses. We'll be doing auditions very soon. And I may even start giving people a little sneak peek into my everyday life, but don't tell nobody. We're going to see how that go. We've been buying GoPros and seeing where we're going to put them in the house. Yeah, thank you
that's
so much.
A whole nother thing when you start letting people get into your everyday life. So
yeah.
But 7, I don't know where Lakeisha went.
I think she got knocked off, but we at the end.
Yeah.
You know what
we
to
at
do.
the end. So I just want to say on behalf of her and myself as well, thank you so much. You're such a dope individual, and I actually pulled up your Instagram while you were talking. So
thank you, Yasmin.
I'm definitely gonna connect, and this was such an awesome show. Thank you for all the knowledge and wisdom that you have given. Thank you for speaking into the lives of our young girls.
We're gonna have to connect again, Yasmin.
Yes. You know, and I'm continuing my education, so I'm right on that with you of being a prominent face in a mental health space for our African American community. Next is the
That's right.
doctorate. So I'm moving forward to do that, open up my own private practice. That's my ultimate goal. So we just want to say thank you so much. Hopefully we have you back.
Can I say one more
soon.
thing before I go? Before I go, I just feel compelled to say one more thing. I want to get some book recommendations for our people. There is a book called Black Roots Science that I think everybody should check out. It's 2 volumes. Very powerful book, Black Roots Science, and then Black Roots Science, ROOTS, Black Roots Science. And then for those who like autobiographies, check out The Making of Black Revolutionaries. And then for anybody who is married and may need some extra encouragement and I don't have the money for counseling, whatever it is, there is a really dope book that my wife and I have been reading. And I just want to shout out to that book. It's called Marriage Ain't for Punks.
Oh, I need to
get
that.
So there go 3 books right there to give y'all something for the science lovers, for the revolutionaries, and for the married people. And that's for children. All 3 of those books are still very good books to read. You don't need to wait till you're married to read about marriage. That's actually the problem. All right. So thank you once again for having me. Shout out to GLTB and everybody that is affiliated with my organization. Shout out to Princess the Queens, and shout out to Yasmin for all of the powerful work that you are doing on behalf of yourself, your family, and the community. Thank you once again for having me.
All right, from princesses to queens, thank you so much. We're gonna see you on next month for Sunday. Don't forget 4 p.m. to tune in. Good night, guys.
Peace and power.